welcome back. Today's coin, we are still in India, but we are going backwards in time. This is a really early coin. It's about 600 to 450-ish AD. We are not exactly sure when. It's one of the earlier Indian coin types, and most people believe the metrology and the type developed totally free of any foreign influence. It's a slightly unusual design. You can see some of the design elements. You have a dot in the center right there, and then you can see like a double pulley, and then you can see a triskeles, this little thing with like three bent legs. It's an unusual motif in Indian coins. You see it a lot more in Greek coins. It is a symbol of certain countries like the Isle of Man and even Sicily, because they sort of shaped like that. And I believe it shows up on the Manx flag, if I'm correct. Uh, Unlike the Sultanate coins I've shown so far, this one, the die is clearly smaller than the flan. So what ends up happening here is it punches, and then as a result, you create like an incuse effect. The back of this coin is uniface, so there's nothing on this side. It's a beautifully toned piece. Silver oxidizes and turns black, and this one has toned beautifully. Uh, but as you can see like the impression as I rotate this around. It has the punch has sort of made an indent in there, and it's become uh, so it's not flat as a result. It's a beautifully preserved piece. The weight is about 6.7, 6.8 grams. The auction listing had it at 6.8. My scale says 6.7, which is about a standard weight for these. The weight standard is approximately a double Karshapana, which is the more common coin. We'll get to one of those fairly soon for the coinage issued by Magad. So it's probably related to those weight standards, and you have half unit sizes for this one too. Now, who issued this is always been a bit of a mystery. These coins were first found in the Bombay region, and they were called Bombay type coins. Once upon a time, there was a Indian Janapad or kingdom, Jana people, collection of people. So basically, the name given to all these Indian early kingdoms called Ashmaka, and early dealers associated with Ashmaka. And then there were a bunch found in the Satara region. So Rajgor ended up assigning them to a kingdom called Kuntal, Kuntala. So if you ever see these on sale nowadays, they are generally assigned to the Kuntala Janapada. But the problem we have with a lot of early Indian punchmark coins is there's no epigraphy and text on these, so it is sort of a guess as to whether these kingdoms actually issued them or whether they were trade guilds or what was going on. It is very clear these were issued to a metal and weight standard, so there was some sort of governing authority that issued them. And generally today the norm is to assign them to each of these individual kingdoms as the issuer. This particular coin evidently was on display in Leeds City Museum in autumn of 1994 and spring of 1995. So there's a bit of a pedigree for that over there. And the original card refers to it as Bombay area, which is sort of where the Codrington, who wrote a lot of the books on Sri Lankan coinage, is initially classified it. And then Michener, and then later, as I said, Rajgor recently classified them as Kuntal, and that's sort of the norm of calling them. But we obviously don't know who the actual issuing authority was. So it's one of the earlier Indian coins, and let's get back to our usual habit of comparing it to the size of George, so you can see a comparison size of how big this is. So it's there. It's smaller than a typical quarter, but it's a little thicker, as I showed you. You can see, as I said, right? It's a little, it's thicker because the punch has gone in. It's about 6.8 grams, so double the size of a typical Indian Karshapan of that size right now. Unfortunately, the new Hardaker book on punchmark coinage, Terry Hardaker passed away last year. That covers North Indian coinages, so it does not cover this, so I had to rely on Wilfred Piper's great book on the subject. on Indian Coins Revisited and Pankaj Tandon's website on Coin India Galleries. Two great resources to read up on Indian coins. The site on this coin is Rajgor Series 29, 503-505, MAC 4081. I believe that's the Michener site. It has what is called a beautiful cabinet tone. As I said, it silver oxidizes and turns black. It's a fairly rare series. You don't see Kuntala coins that often, so I was very happy to get one. And again, there's a dispute as to who issued these. Initially, Avanti, I believe, was also, which is what is now Malwa, which was the where Baz Bahadur was from. Ashmaka was issued, and then now, because of the Satara horde, they have been assigning them to Kuntal. And who knows, it may the attribution may change, but the knowledge of pre-imperial Mauryan Empire kingdoms in the region is fairly low. As I said, this is a pre-imperial series. This is before the Magadhan type coins become common all over India. But it's, as I said, a fairly interesting design. Indian coins at this time had no text. So what you're talking about here is it has a punch. And as I said, you can see there is a pulley, there's a dot, there's a triskeles, another dot there. And it's a fairly intricate design. We have no idea what this actually means. It's these sort of motifs do show up on other coins later on. One of friends on Facebook recently noted cave paintings. But it's a fascinating series. It's a scarce coin, and I'm very, very happy to get it and to share this with you. Again, this is so-called Kuntala Janapada between 600 to 450 BC. It's a uniface. Probably a double Karshapana. Sometimes you see this as a half Shataman. Shatamana was the bent bar coinage of Gandhar, and this one probably is more related to Karshapan weight standard than the Gandhar weight standard is my guess. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you like this coin, and I will see you soon.
I'm sick and tired of living in a van down by the